July 5th, 2014, the Maldives. Roman Seleznev walks through Malé International Airport, tanned and relaxed after a week in paradise. He's 30 years old, Russian, and about to board a flight home. Security waves him through passport control without issue. He's done this 100 times before, jetting between tropical islands, luxury hotels, five-star restaurants, living like royalty on money stolen from millions of people who have no idea he exists. He hands his boarding pass to the gate agent. She scans it, pauses, then nods to someone behind him. Before Roman can react, 6 men in suits surround him. U.S. Secret Service agents. Handcuffs snap on. His stomach drops. Roman Valerievich Seleznev, you're under arrest. Within hours, he's on a private jet to Guam, then to Seattle. No extradition hearing, no lawyers, no phone call to Moscow. The man who built a $568 million cybercrime empire while hiding behind a laptop screen is about to face American justice. But here's the twist. His father is a Russian politician with Kremlin connections who swears this is a CIA kidnapping. Russia demands his return. International tensions explode. How did one hacker steal from 2 million credit cards without leaving his apartment? And why did catching him nearly start a diplomatic crisis? Vladivostok, Russia. A teenage Roman Seleznev is obsessed with computers. While other kids play soccer, he's mastering Linux, studying encryption, teaching himself how networks communicate. He's brilliant, naturally gifted at understanding systems most adults can't comprehend. His father, Valery Seleznev, is a member of the Russian Duma, the country's parliament. Money isn't an issue. The family lives comfortably in a nice apartment overlooking the Pacific. Roman could have become anything: a legitimate programmer, an entrepreneur, a security consultant. Instead, he discovers the criminal underground. By 2003, Roman is frequenting dark web forums where hackers trade stolen data like baseball cards. Credit card numbers, bank logins, social security numbers, everything has a price. He watches transactions unfold in real time. A hacker in Ukraine sells 5,000 Visa numbers for $200. A buyer in Brazil tests them, keeps the valid ones, resells the rest. It's a global marketplace operating in the shadows, and Roman sees opportunity everywhere. He adopts the handle Nkux. No real name, no face, just a username moving through encrypted chat rooms. At first, he's a buyer, testing stolen cards, learning what works and what doesn't. He studies the ecosystem, who the trusted sellers are, which cards have the highest success rates, how to avoid detection by banks' fraud systems. But Roman isn't content being a customer. He wants to be a supplier, the king of the underground. By 2004, he's developed his own malware, keyloggers that record every keystroke on infected computers, viruses that spread through email attachments, backdoors that let him access machines remotely. He targets point-of-sale systems, the card readers at restaurants, gas stations, retail stores. When you swipe your card to buy coffee, his malware is there in the background, silently copying your card number, expiration date, CVV code. The infections spread like wildfire. One compromised system leads to 10, then 100, then thousands. Roman sits in his bedroom in Vladivostok, watching data pour in. Card numbers scroll across his screen faster than he can count them. Within months, he's harvesting thousands of card numbers per week. He sells them on Carter Planet and other dark web marketplaces. Buyers love him because his data is fresh. The cards work. Banks haven't flagged them yet. The fraud window is wide open. Roman's reputation grows. Nkux becomes a brand name in cybercrime circles, synonymous with quality and reliability. But harvesting cards is only step one. Roman needs a way to turn digital numbers into actual cash. That's where the real genius begins. Roman launches his own dark web marketplace, Track2. The name comes from credit card terminology. Track2 data is the magnetic stripe information that makes cards work. His site becomes the Amazon of stolen credit cards. Clean interface, search functions, customer reviews. You can filter by card type, bank, country, even credit limit. Want American Express cards from wealthy cardholders? Search Amex, USA, $10,000 plus limit. Need Visa debit cards for small transactions that won't trigger alerts? Filter by Visa debit under $500 balance. The system is intuitive, almost legitimate looking. Prices are simple. Basic Visa card, $10. Premium Amex with high limit, $50. Bulk packages available. Buy 1,000 cards, get a 20% discount. Roman takes a 10% commission on every sale. The site runs 24/7, processing thousands of transactions daily. And because everything happens in Bitcoin and encrypted channels, tracing the money is nearly impossible. By 2007, Roman's operation has evolved into a full criminal enterprise. He's not just selling cards anymore, he's providing a complete fraud toolkit. Need a fake ID to match your stolen card? He's got vendors. Need a cash-out crew to withdraw money from ATMs? He connects you with partners. Want to buy physical goods with stolen cards and resell them? He facilitates the network. Roman starts offering tutorials, how to card Amazon without getting caught, best practices for ATM cash-outs, avoiding bank fraud detection systems. He's not just running a marketplace, he's building a university for cyber criminals. The scale is staggering. In a single year, Track2 processes over 200,000 stolen credit card numbers. The buyers are worldwide. Fraudsters in Nigeria using the cards to buy iPhones they resell on the street. Criminals in Eastern Europe manufacturing fake physical cards with the stolen data. Scammers in the US booking hotel rooms they'll never pay for. Every transaction generates profit for Roman. Conservative estimates put his annual income at $2 million, but the real number is probably higher. He's 23 years old and richer than most people will ever be. He buys a luxury apartment in downtown Vladivostok. He drives a Mercedes. He vacations in places most Russians only see on TV. And he's untouchable, operating from Russia where US law enforcement can't reach him. As long as he stays in Russian territory, he's safe. The Kremlin has no interest in prosecuting cyber criminals who target Western banks and American consumers. But every empire has cracks, and the Secret Service is watching. 2008. Seattle, Washington. Secret Service agent Trevor Hansen stares at his computer screen, frustrated. He's investigating credit card fraud cases, and the same pattern keeps appearing. Cards compromised at small businesses across America. Data sold on Track2, money vanishing into cryptocurrency. Hansen knows Track2's operator is somewhere in Russia, but NCUX is a ghost. No real name, no location, just a digital shadow moving money through a dozen countries. The traditional playbook, arrest warrants, extradition requests, won't work. Russia doesn't extradite its citizens, especially not for crimes committed against Americans. But Hansen is patient. He starts building a profile. Every forum post NCUX makes, every transaction on Track2, every time the site goes offline, Hansen logs it. He studies the timestamps, the language patterns, the payment methods. Slowly, patterns emerge. NCUX operates on Moscow time. He takes breaks during Russian holidays. His English has a distinctly Russian grammar structure. He occasionally mentions Vladivostok in chat logs. He brags about his Mercedes in a forum post. The pieces are assembling, pixel by pixel. Then, in 2010, a break. Roman makes a mistake. A small one, but in the digital world, small mistakes are fatal. He registers a domain for a new site using an email address he's used before, one connected to social media profiles under his real name. Hansen cross-references the profiles. Photos of a young man partying in expensive clubs. Posts about traveling to Bali, Morocco, the Maldives. A photo of him standing next to his Mercedes with the caption, "Life is good." The username on one account, NCUX. Hansen has him. Roman Valerievich Seleznev, age 26, son of Valery Seleznev, a member of Russian parliament, living in Vladivostok, operating a $568 million criminal empire from his laptop. But knowing who he is and catching him are two different problems. Roman never sets foot in the United States. Arresting him in Russia is impossible. The Secret Service needs him to leave Russian territory. They need him somewhere vulnerable, somewhere the US has cooperation agreements. So they wait, and they watch, and they prepare. For the next 4 years, the Secret Service monitors Roman's digital footprint and his travel patterns. They build an ironclad case: server logs, transaction records, malware samples, victim testimonies, everything they need to prosecute him, if they can get him in custody. Roman, meanwhile, is living his best life. He's careful, but not paranoid. He loves luxury vacations, 5-star resorts, tropical beaches, Instagram-worthy sunsets. He posts photos from Thailand, the Philippines, Morocco, the Seychelles. Each post is a breadcrumb, a signal to waiting agents. The Secret Service agents note his patterns. He travels every few months, always to warm climates. He stays 2 weeks on average. He favors resorts with private beaches and excellent scuba diving. He books flights through specific travel agencies. Most importantly, he often travels through countries with US cooperation agreements. But knowing who he is and catching him are two different problems. Roman never sets foot in the United States. Arresting him in Russia is impossible. The Secret Service needs him to leave Russian territory. They need him somewhere vulnerable, somewhere the US has cooperation agreements. So they wait, and they watch, and they prepare. For the next 4 years, the Secret Service monitors Roman's digital footprint and his travel patterns. They build an ironclad case: server logs, transaction records, malware samples, victim testimonies, everything they need to prosecute him, if they can get him in custody. Roman, meanwhile, is living his best life. He's careful, but not paranoid. He loves luxury vacations, 5-star resorts, tropical beaches, Instagram-worthy sunsets. He posts photos from Thailand, the Philippines, Morocco, the Seychelles. Each post is a breadcrumb, a signal to waiting agents. The Secret Service agents note his patterns. He travels every few months, always to warm climates. He stays 2 weeks on average. He favors resorts with private beaches and excellent scuba diving. He books flights through specific travel agencies. Most importantly, he often travels through countries with US cooperation agreements. In early 2014, intelligence indicates Roman is planning a trip to the Maldives, a small island nation in the Indian Ocean, famous for its turquoise waters and luxury resorts. It's also a country with diplomatic ties to the United States. The Secret Service approaches Maldivian authorities quietly. Will they cooperate if we want to arrest someone on your soil? The answer is yes. Plans are made. Flights are booked. A team deploys to the islands. July 2014. Roman boards a flight to the Maldives, excited for a week of relaxation. He has no idea that Secret Service agents are already on the island, watching the airport, monitoring hotel check-ins, waiting for him to land. He checks into his resort, enjoys the beach, drinks cocktails by the pool. He goes scuba diving, takes photos of tropical fish, posts them to social media with the caption, "Paradise." For 7 days, he lives like a king while agents track his every move. July 5th, 2014. Roman packs his bags and arrives at the airport for his return flight to Russia. He's relaxed, unsuspecting, already thinking about his next vacation. The gate agent scans his passport. A red flag appears on her screen. She nods to someone behind him. Within seconds, his nightmare begins. 6 agents in dark suits surround him. Handcuffs lock around his wrists. Tourists stare. Roman's face goes white. "Roman Valerievich Seleznev, you're under arrest by the United States Secret Service." No negotiation, no escape, no diplomatic immunity, despite his father's position. Within hours, he's on a private jet. Not to Russia, but to Guam, a US territory in the Pacific. Then a second flight to Seattle, Washington, where a federal grand jury has been waiting years to indict him. He's processed, fingerprinted, photographed, and thrown in a cell at King County Jail. The arrest sends shockwaves through Moscow. Valery Seleznev, Roman's father, erupts on state television. "This is a kidnapping. The Americans have violated international law. They've abducted a Russian citizen from neutral territory." Russian diplomats demand his immediate return. The foreign ministry summons the US ambassador for an explanation. The Kremlin calls it a provocation an act of aggression disguised as law enforcement. For weeks, tensions boil as Russia accuses the US of illegal rendition, of acting like pirates on the high seas. But the US doesn't budge. Roman Seleznev is in custody and he's not going anywhere. The evidence is overwhelming and he's going to trial. August 2014. King County Jail, Seattle. Roman sits in a cell, isolated from the world. No visitors except his lawyers. No contact with other inmates. He's kept in protective custody because Russian cybercriminals have a complicated relationship with US prisons. Some inmates hate snitches, others hate foreigners. Roman is both vulnerable and valuable. The charges are terrifying: 40 counts of fraud, identity theft, conspiracy, and computer crimes. Wire fraud, bank fraud, aggravated identity theft, intentional damage to a protected computer. Each count carries years in prison. If convicted on all counts, he's facing life without parole. His lawyers argue the arrest was illegal, a violation of sovereignty, an act of piracy dressed in legal language. They file motion after motion demanding dismissal. But US prosecutors have an airtight case. They've traced his malware infections back to servers he controlled. They've connected his Bitcoin wallets to track 2 transactions. They've recovered chat logs where he discusses selling stolen cards, where he brags about his income, where he laughs about stupid American banks. The evidence is overwhelming. Roman's defense strategy is simple: deny everything, claim he was framed, insist the evidence is fabricated by the CIA to embarrass Russia. It's a Hail Mary, but it's all he has. The trial begins in August 2016. For weeks, prosecutors present a mountain of evidence: testimony from fraud victims, bank records showing losses, digital forensics linking Roman to Track 2, undercover agents who bought stolen cards from his site and documented every transaction. One victim, a small business owner in Tacoma, Washington, testifies that Roman's malware infected his point-of-sale system in 2009. Within 3 months, 4,700 of his customers' cards were stolen. His business nearly collapsed from the chargebacks and lost trust. He had to close 2 locations. 15 employees lost their jobs. Another victim, a woman from Sacramento, California, explains how her card was stolen and used to buy $15,000 worth of electronics she never saw. It took her 8 months to restore her credit, during which she was denied a car loan and missed out on buying her first home. The testimonies pile up day after day. 3,700 financial institutions affected, $169 million in documented fraud, though prosecutors believe the real number is closer to $568 million. 2 million compromised cards, over 500 victims willing to testify. The scale is almost incomprehensible. Roman's lawyers argue he's a scapegoat, that the real criminals are still free, operating new sites while Roman takes the fall. But the jury isn't buying it. The evidence is too strong. The forensics too detailed. August 25th, 2016. The verdict? Guilty on 38 of 40 counts. Roman shows no emotion as the judge reads the decision, count by count. His lawyers slump in their chairs. His father, watching via video link from Moscow, explodes in rage, calling it a shameful American show trial, a mockery of justice. Sentencing comes months later. April 21st, 2017. U.S. District Judge Richard Jones delivers the sentence. 27 years in federal prison, the longest sentence ever given for a cybercrime case at the time. No parole, no early release. "You are a pioneer in this type of criminal conduct," Judge Jones says, looking directly at Roman. "Your crimes have caused immeasurable harm to thousands of victims. You showed no remorse, no recognition of the damage you inflicted. This sentence reflects the severity of your actions." Roman stands silently, his face blank. At 33 years old, he'll be nearly 60 when he's released. His empire is gone. His freedom is gone. His life as he knew it is over. But the story doesn't end there. USP Marion, Illinois. Roman is serving his sentence in a high-security federal prison, the same facility that once held John Gotti. His daily routine is monotonous. Wake at 6 a.m., breakfast in the cafeteria, work assignment in the prison library, lunch, yard time if weather permits, dinner, back to his cell. But while he's locked away, his case becomes a symbol in the new Cold War between the US and Russia. Russian media portrays him as a political prisoner, kidnapped by American spies to embarrass the Kremlin. His father continues to campaign for his release, meeting with officials, giving interviews claiming his son is innocent, a victim of American aggression. The Russian government even proposes a prisoner swap, Roman, in exchange for American detainees held in Russia. The US refuses every time. Roman Seleznev isn't a political prisoner. He's a convicted cybercriminal, and he's staying exactly where he is. Meanwhile, Track 2 is gone, dismantled by the FBI. But the dark web marketplaces Roman pioneered continue to thrive. New sites pop up with the same model: stolen cards, fraud tools, encrypted payments, cryptocurrency transactions. The ecosystem he helped build is bigger than ever, generating billions in fraud annually. In 2021, court documents reveal additional charges were filed against Roman for hacking servers and stealing data from businesses in Washington state between 2009 and 2013. Even from prison, his criminal legacy haunts the system. New victims continue to come forward, discovering years later that their cards were compromised by his malware. Today, Roman Seleznev sits in a federal cell, serving year after year of his 27-year sentence. His father's campaigns have gone quiet. The media has moved on to newer scandals. But the damage he caused, $568 million stolen, 2 million victims, an entire underground economy built on his blueprint, remains a permanent scar on the digital landscape. He was a pioneer, just not the kind anyone celebrates. He proved that one person with a laptop and criminal intent could build an empire rivaling legitimate corporations. He showed that borders and laws meant nothing in cyberspace, and he demonstrated that as long as you stayed in the right country, you were untouchable, until you weren't. Here was a man who turned cybercrime into an art form, who built an empire from a laptop in his bedroom, who thought he was untouchable as long as he stayed in Russia. But he got greedy. He got comfortable. He wanted tropical vacations and Instagram photos. And one trip to paradise became the trap that ended everything. Roman once told an associate in a 2013 chat log, "In Russia, I'm safe. They can't touch me here. I could sell cards to every American and they couldn't do shit about it." He was right. But the moment he stepped outside that protection, the walls closed in. 27 years. That's the price of building a criminal empire. That's the cost of stealing from millions while hiding behind encryption and international borders. And that's the message the US government sent to every cybercriminal watching. You can run, you can hide behind borders and laws, but eventually you'll slip. You'll want that vacation. You'll crave that freedom. And when you do, we'll be waiting. If you think Roman Seleznev's operation was sophisticated, wait until you see what happens when a regular dad becomes a hitman. Check out our next story, The Suburban Dad Who Was a Mafia Hitman. Click now.